There's a lot of people who really don't know who he is, especially American fans. But Lucas Browne is a 36-year-old Australian heavyweight contender. He's 23-0 with 20 KOs, and is going to be fighting a fighter by the name of Ruslan Chagaev on BoxNation March the 5th, 2016. What this fight is going to be for is, I got to explain it because a lot of people don't know or don't understand. The WBA has two titles. The WBA is looking to eliminate those two titles by basically having a tournament in the heavyweight division and working its way down. So in this fight, you're going to have Lucas Browne fighting Ruslan Chagaev, who's the WBA world champion at heavyweight. But the other belt, which is the more recognized, respected belt, the WBA Super World Championship, is being held by Tyson Fury. So let me not confuse you. Let me run it down real quick. The WBA is having a tournament at heavyweight. Lucas Browne and Ruslan Chagaev is in the tournament at heavyweight. So you got Chagaev versus Lucas Browne for the WBA World. The winner has to fight Oquendo. On the other bracket, you have Luis Ortiz, WBA interim champion, who has to fight Tony Thompson and then fight Alexander Ustinov, and then the winner of that fights the winner of Tyson Fury versus Vladimir Klitschko. So the winner of Tyson Fury, Vladimir Klitschko, Luis Ortiz, Alexander Ustinov has to fight the winner of Ruslan Chagaev, Lucas Browne, and Oquendo. And by the end of this, sometime in mid to, we don't know for sure, late 2017, we're going to have one champion for the WBA in the heavyweight division. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Who is Lucas Browne? I like Lucas Browne, but he may be displeasing to the eye because he's pretty slow and he doesn't have any good names on his resume outside of, well, James Tourney. And I watched that fight again this morning, and Lord knows it was nasty. it was ugly. But when it comes to what he brings to the table, eccentric, he can sell fights. He has a punch. That's about it. It's really not really too much that I can say that he does really, really great. But fighting Ruslan Chagaev, who's had big fights in the past, extremely big fights in the past, especially, which Klitschko did he fight? Did he fight Vitaly or did he fight Vladimir? I forget. I'm predicting it's going to be an ugly fight. It's going to be a fight where both guys are going to be fighting on the inside, and there's probably going to be a lot of clinching and a lot of holding. There was rumors going around on Twitter. I even did a video that I had to take down that the fight was going to be off because Chagaev had pulled out. No, that was just something that was started on Twitter. The fight is on, and I already explained the tournament situation to you. I already explained somewhat who Lucas Browne is, and right now, if Lucas Browne loses this fight, then he's pretty much done, and he's been waiting for this fight for a long time. Also, following him on social media, I've seen that he's changed his body a bit, and he's looking better than he's did. I mean, he looks in better shape than he has looked in previous fights. T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. March the 5th actually has some pretty, and the 12th actually has some pretty good American and international fights that actually mean something. And the reason why this fight is meaningful, once again, is because the winner is going to be the WBA World Champion in advance in the WBA Heavyweight Tournament. So, T Street Controversy, this is T Street Controversy Live. Also, it doesn't make sense to me why the WBA is weird, because they have the WBA interim champion who is the mandatory for the WBA Super World Champion, but the WBA World Champion is not the mandatory for the Super World. It's weird. I'm glad they're getting rid of all these belts. So moving forward in the future, the WBA is only supposed to have the WBA World Super World Champion, or it's only going to be one belt, and then the WBA Interim Champion, which is going to be the mandatory for the Super World, or whatever they're going to call it whenever they decide to, whenever it's finally eliminated in all weight divisions. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.